Thank you, honorable moderator, and thank you, audience. Uh, it's really my pleasure to present my presentation. I think, I hope it will be interesting topic. It's about Turkish software policy towards the Indian subcontinent region, which includes three countries like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. And I will try to show this comparative assessment from humanitarian perspective. Before going to my presentation, I would like to say about myself. I'm Muhammad Nazmul Islam. I'm doing my PhD at Ankara Yildirim Beyazıt University, and my major is political science and public administration. Okay, before going to, I already talked this. I will talk about the Turkish software policy, which includes three countries, or what actually Turkish software policy working these three countries, especially like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. And this is the you see the South and Southeast Asian map. Although I will not discuss about Southeast Asia, you see that South Asia includes 8 countries, and I specialize the 3 countries that I already said. And this is my outline of the presentation. Like I will cover about the common historical relation, which is actually very important to discuss Turkish software policy towards our the region, especially when it comes from software policy, vice versa, like Turkey and Indian subcontinents, and Turkish common areas of cooperation and software policy with India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, software policy and Turkish bilateral relation with India. Specifically, 3 countries I will discuss: software policy towards India, software policy towards Pakistan, software policy towards Bangladesh, and the Turkish role in South Asia as a matter of smart power policy from comparative assessment, and Turkish common influence on society and culture of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. You see this actually this how you say go to the presentation that Turkey and India, Turkey, Pakistan, Turkey, Bangladesh, and why 3 countries actually like Bangladesh, India, Pakistan? Because I already said there are 8 countries in South Asia. Three countries. The fact is actually see the facts, and then the see what is the specifically is India and Pakistan and Bangladesh is significant to very important policy, and particularly against of or like a contrary of hard power policy. We know the hard power policy, it means the coercive method apply or like a military approach. And on the other hand, like soft power policy is actually developed by Harvard University Professor Joseph S. Nye, and he said something like the ability of a country to persuade others to do what it wants without force or coercion. And soft power is a term used to describe a nation's use of cooperative programs and monetary aid to pursue other nations to ascribe to its policies. And this is the actually soft power means in USA foreign policy. And on the other hand, what we understand soft power is the ability to shape the preferences of others through appeal and attraction. And if we come to the point of China soft power policy towards Africa, like their investment and business trade, on the other hand, USA monetary aid, education, technology, and political alliance, the whole over world, and on the other hand, Turkish humanitarian assistance all over the world. What's the actual objectives my research, because my research is actually basically secondary sources data. I don't collect any primary data, and in that case the main objectives of my paper is like identity Turkish common historical relation with this region, analyze Turkish software policy, bilateral relation status with India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, explore the potential trade opportunities on the name of software policy, clarify the Turkish defense and security cooperation with the region as a policy of smart power, and make possible recommendation about the program. Okay, let's say like the common historical relation, what's the vice versa software policy between Turkey and the Indian subcontinent. if we discuss about the historical relation, this is really important to talk the how the Islam comes to the, because the Turkish soft power policy, it comes to the historical tie or historical knots between this region, especially the India and Pakistan and Bangladesh. The Muslim community, they have a really good knots and ties with Turkey. And according to the what I find from the literature, they said like a good number of Turk, especially Turkic nations, it includes Central Asian Turks also. Saint preacher and alim started coming to this region for the cause of religious duty and spreading Islam by 10 to 12th centuries. And especially if we include that some names like Shah Muhammad Balkhi, Shah Muhammad Sultan Rumi, Shah Mahdum, they are famous to come in this area, who are actually originated from Turkish, how you can say, Turkish origin. And even also, if we come to the Bangladeshi, like spread out, like Hazrat Shah Jalal Rahmatullah, he is in 1246 and 1346, a famous preacher from Turkish origin, who was born in Konya, famous city of Turkey, also came to this region. And we know that the Indian subcontinent history, like especially there was the Muhammad Bakir Khilji and also Babur, although there are some actually historical controversy, are they actually Turkish or not, but they are somehow they are Turkish originated, and they have been their subcontinent as a feature of Turkish origin. And this is really important to talk about the foreign history and relation between the Indian origin or Indian subcontinent and towards Turkey or Turkish power. The Khilafat movement, the religious and Khilafat movement in the time of Ottoman Empire, is very important to talk about the influence in this region, and also like a factor that this region influence on Turkey. Like the Khilafat movement and the role of Sultan Abdul Hamid, like around 1860 to 1890, like what Indian Muslims, I just want to explain again how I specifically can use this India Pakistan conflict. Like the Indian Muslims, they have really role on the time of Ottoman Empire, like Osmani Empire, and especially the before independence, like and the role of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad is really big impact. He was the leader of Khilafat movement, and he has a huge role to protect and to have a good relation with in that time of Ottoman Empire. And in that time, they have some policy, like when the Ottoman Empire, they have some rules, and you know this First World War, there are so many problems between British and their power. And that time they just boycott European goods in 1913 in the time of Balkan War, and this actually have to affect or impact the mistrust between British government and Ottoman Empire. And we know about the Pan-Islamism developed by Sultan Abdul Hamid, and it was also effects on this regional Muslims, and they have impact on control ruler over the Ottoman domination as a spiritual authority. And in the time of Greco-Turkish War raised fund to help the Turkish soldiers by Indian Muslims in 1897. And we know that Indian, they have one great madrasa actually. They say that Ulama Deoband and Farangi Mahal at the time of Balkan War in 1912, they have collected funds and dispatched medical mission under Dr. Ansari for medical assistance to Turkish victim of war and to help the Turkish Red Crescent in looking after the wounded soldiers. And in November 1911, Ali brothers, it's very important to understand the Turkish relation or Ottoman relation towards this region. There's Ali brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, along with Aligarh students, opened a relief fund and started collecting money for the Turkish people. And there are some like a speech is really important to understand the historical knots between this region and Turkish origin. Like a founded Anjumane Khudam, a Kaaba, is actually for protecting the Kaaba, inaugurated by Abdul Bari in 1913 after defeated in Balkan War. And the main object of this organization were included the first to be given to Turkey to maintain the dignity and political independence of the secret places, like holy places, and the second to be given to Islamic schools, orphanages and mission society, and the third is really important, like the future defense of Kaaba. And they have arranged so many conferences to protect Ottoman Empire, like especially after Balkan War, like First World War and impact of Indian Muslims. Like on the request of Indian government, the British Prime Minister Lord George on 5 January 1918 stated in the Parliament, "Nor are we allied forces fighting to deprive Turkey of its capital or of the rich and renowned lands of Asia Minor and thus which are predominantly Turkish in a race." And also the First World War defeated Turkey caused the Indian Muslim gap concern because it's really huge impacts on Indian Muslims, because the loss in Ottoman Empire in this region is effect on the other hand the Indian subcontinent region, because the Muslim they all work and they all fight for the Ottoman Empire, but on the other hand when Ottoman Empire failed, it was the British, they have a superpower, they have a get so much power to influence and to effects on Muslims in the in Indian subcontinent region. And Indian Muslims too started a joint movement for protecting Khilafat, especially after First World War. And like their first effort to mobilize the support of the Khilafat on 20 March 1919, a public meeting of like 15,000 Indian Muslims was held in Bombay. And this meeting set up a local organization named a Majlis-e-Khalifa. And okay, so like it's actually Turkish common areas of cooperation like support policy, especially when we talk the support policy between these three regions. There are so many topics really important like bilateral investment, promotion, protection, prevention of illicit trafficking and nursing, society and technology, like foreign export, culture, relation, external treaty. And like support policy when it comes to the India, like I just find out some from the literature like manufacturing commission or portfolio of biosimilar drugs in Turkey to build a 459 kilometer section of pipeline to Eskişehir province, make biotech products. Turkey State Bank of India's representative office in Istanbul is one kind of process to make a support policy between India and Turkey. And also there are some impact export export between Turkey and India, because when it comes from India side, really India have a really good support policy or support impacts on Turkey, and at the same time Turkey have a support policy on India. And especially when support policy started, when the high level of Turkish minister or Turkish prime minister visit to India, especially the president of Turkey, Recep Erdogan, he visited 2011-2016, and it creates a very good opportunity and good relation and support policy on India, like a multilateral dialogue on Kashmir issue and target on 10 billion trade by 2020 and economic opportunity between two countries. And this is some policy or some impacts of soft power, like cultural impacts, especially like Bollywood movies impact in Turkish, and on the other hand like Turkish drama serials such as Sultan Suleiman, like Muhteşem Yüzyıl or like Diriliş Ertuğrul is have a really huge impact in Indian society. And all the at the same time like Turkey and India, they have a common policy, like especially the stability of Persian Gulf, North Africa and Afghanistan. And when it comes to the international terrorism like Daesh, they have a common policy, and that's why it makes us broad relations. And when it comes to the Pakistan, like Pakistan is Turkey given increasing collaboration projects in various sectors, especially like Metro Bus Lahore, and like Pakistan and Turkey, they have a really in the term of business and trade. Turkey have a really soft power impacts on Pakistan because they have so many projects and so many infrastructure development projects in Pakistan. And especially the Muslim identity is really creates a very good relation in international platforms. Like in international any table or international any platform, Pakistan is a real great friend for Turkey. And also there are more than 100 firms. No, I want just to because I am the first speaker.
Bir dakikada özetlersen seviniriz. Sonuca gelirsen arkadaşlar daha sonra da senin sunumunu.
Okay. So like in Pakistan, like almost 100 firms of Turkish firms, they are working there for investment or so many, like it's focused on energy, finance, infrastructure projects, and constantly the leading sector for Turkish investors in Pakistan. And like especially the Turkish development aid to Pakistan is one kind of software policy for Turkey. Like Turkey has been provided development to Pakistan since 2004, and the total amount of official development aid, I collected data from TICA, and they said between 2004 to 2000 reached to 724.48 million USD. And this cooperation coordination agency has been operating in Pakistan since 2010 in order to administer civilian development aid, and this is working to conclude free trade agreement between two countries. And when it comes to the political and diplomatic relation, and it's a really good mode of soft power policy, because the both of the countries, they have a fraternal ties, and the high level strategic cooperation and defense cooperation is a smart policy. It's not actually especially soft power policy, but it's really both soft and hard power policy when it comes to the Turkey and Pakistan relations. And especially it should to be mentioned, like the recent coup and after coup, the Pakistan role, especially the patriotic schools, Pakistan, they have a really good role to stop and ban that kind of school, and it's cooperated with the Turkish present government. And when it comes to the Bangladesh, they have a really good soft relation with from the political and diplomatic perspective. Like especially the official visit of Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Abdullah Gül, it creates a really good impact and political relation between Bangladesh. And when it comes to the investment mechanism and also cultural cooperation, it will be the same. What is a relation between Pakistan and Turkey? And if I come to the last my discussion, like comparative assessment, like I just try to derive or like divided this point into two areas, like area of divergence and area of convergence. Like in area of divergence, Turkish role over Arakan and Rohingya refugees as a Turkish soft power policy and soft power policy message to the world, especially the AFAD, TIKA and NGOs, especially the IHAHA. Their role in Arakan issue or Rohingya issue. And Turkish role over the Kashmir is a tool of smart power policy between, what I mean, like especially the relation between Pakistan or also India, although India don't like this. And Turkish humanitarian aid response to the world war is a smart tool of soft power policy in South Asia, and metro solution what it comes to the like security matter in Afghanistan, NATO role, and Central Asia, Russia. And Turkish have a soft power in that region. And what I said, like a democracy, secularism, and also for Ummah concept, like what we know about the Akbar slogan or such kind of things, it's a good soft power policy for that regional Muslims and Islamic ideology, of course. And areas of convergence, like strategic relation towards trade, business, and commercial, like private investment, and also scientific knowledge and advanced technology, and cultural exchange, what I already told, like Turkish cereals impacts in that regions. And this is the common like influence of society. Okay, I just going to finish my presentation.
Zaten daha detaylısı biliyorsunuz bu kongrenin kitapçığı basılacak.
Okay.
Daha detaylı.
Thank you so much. I think if you have any question, then I can also talk about this.
Normalde soru almamayı düşünüyorum ama buyurun.
I don't agree with you about the southward policy towards India. It's a totally different. If you are seeing the Pakistan relation or Bangladesh, it's normal. But recent visit of Erdogan to India is totally failed because of the Kashmir issue. And you mentioned that Turkish role in Kashmir. That's actually only the part of Azad Kashmir you should mention. But for the India, it's totally failed because if Turkey is taking stand on Kashmir, India is saying stand on Cyprus. So I don't think this is like, it should be mentioned.
Yeah, I just already in recommendation I said about this issue actually, because Turkey should be careful about their balanced relation between India and Pakistan, and in that case Kashmir is a really important issue. But when it comes to the international platforms, really Turkey, they want to maintain relation with Pakistan more than India, and especially the Turkish present government policy is very clear about Kashmir issue. They say that they want multilateral dialogue, and I already mentioned this, India, they don't like about this issue also. But like this role of Turkey towards Kashmir, it can be actually smart power policy more than soft power policy, because it's not a one kind of issue of soft power, it's a one kind of smart power policy. Because Turkey, if they have a great policy or great, how I can say, aim to the world, like after 10 years or 20 years or like 50 years later, they need to make a good relation between two countries, and in that case, Pakistan will be best option for them more than India.
Teşekkürler. Teşekkürler Nazmul İslam. Soruları almayacağım, çok uzadı. Bir de bu tip özellikle uluslararası ilişkiler alanındaki konular bayağı tartışmaya açık konular. Diğer arkadaşlarımıza da vakit verelim, onları da sırasıyla dinleyelim. Nazmul İslam'a konuşması ve sunumu için teşekkür ediyorum. Şimdi de sunumlarını sunumlarını yapmak üzere Nur